Before I start this lesson, I'd like to give all praise and glory and honor unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostle, elders, and bishops, a great millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to 144,000 men that's pushing and believing this word in all true sincerity and sacrifice their lives and wills to do so. Shalom to the men, women, and children that's tuning in and listening. And shalom to the Israelite foreigner scattered abroad on all four corners of the earth. The Heavenly Father named is Yahweh. His only begotten Son named is Yahweh Shai. And Lord, when this video edifying, cut straight to the point. This video right here would be entitled, Going into the World and Coming Back Isn't an Option. And, this video right here was inspired by something that Apostle Tahar been going into a lot recently, especially with a lot of these, the year of apostasy as he coined it. And you have a lot of individuals that come into this thing, fall out, and then come back like everything's all good and, try to have people up under them. A lot of former One West leaders or people that had higher positions and just a lot of fallouts in general. So, this video I was just meditating upon. Because honestly, if you're going to go back into the world, you putting yourself in a more, you are putting yourself in a more difficult position. And being in this truth can be difficult, but also at the same time, right, we're experiencing and noticing a lot of individuals from other camps getting lukewarm or getting cold, and not just getting cold, but a lot of individuals altogether just taking their hand off the plow. Now, we know through the scriptures, when you come in this truth, you got to be diligent to make your call. Actually, I'll grab that. It's 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. If you do these things, ye will never fail. And yeah, this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be making our calling of election sure by doing what? Teaching and preaching properly, reading and studying, doing things in this ministry that's proper. Grow in the sight of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So, this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Right? And despite what everybody might think, or may think, you're supposed to do this daily, in season, out of season. Now obviously, you have times and days where things don't go right, or you might not be able to get the chance to do what you plan to do or look forward to doing in this truth. Like far as some days it'd be hard not to read, some days it'd be hard to get a video out, some days it'd be hard to do certain things. But guess what? At the end of the day, as long as you're being diligent, doing something, aside of just sitting down and being in the world, the Lord can show you favor. But from there, I'm gonna jump to 2 Peter chapter 2 now. Now I start at verse 20. Let me get there real quick. For this 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 20. For if after they have escaped the pollution of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, they are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse than them. Let me read that. It is worse with them than the beginning. For it have been better for them to not. For it have been better for them to have known, for them not to. So like, yeah, I'm trying to do it in this is in transit, so my reading a little choppy. So like, I'm trying to drive and look at the same time. So let me reread this again. So this is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 21. For it been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness, than after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment, right, delivered unto them. So yeah, that's exactly what's going on. It would have been better for you to not be in, for you to be in the world than to come into this truth. For you to come in this truth and fall out. And a lot of individuals do that. They come into this truth, gain some knowledge over the course period of time, and they end up getting disenchanted. And the Apostle Gabar and Apostle Hart always say all the time, getting disenchanted. You know, the worst thing in this truth is to get disenchanted, because once you get disenchanted, right, you end up, in their own words, you end up fall out. Then you try to come back after a period of time, and then it'd be too late. And not just that, it's embarrassing, you know. And this is a reminder of myself also to keep going in this thing, being strong in this faith, because at some point, when the internet gets shut off, when the prophets ain't no more on the streets, you ain't gonna be able to just be able to meet brothers freely and fellowship and gather freely. You saw Edom was about to really make it to where is everybody for themselves. But if the Lord is with you, right, you're gonna have a guide, right? So in these times, there ain't gonna be, oh well, let me go find where the brothers that used to be at back in 3, 4, 5 years. It ain't gonna be like that. And on top of that, when that stuff happens, it could always be too late. You know, there's always the doors of grace are closing, and the Lord is getting ready to move. So we have to be prepared and strong in what the Lord has taught us and showed us. So actually, let me see. Oh, verse 22 now. But it is better unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. So yeah, it's given the analogy when a dog throws up, it returns back to his own throat. Dogs are known for eating their own throat, which is nasty, but it's exactly what you compare to a dog that returned to his own vomit, to his own throat. So, you stop being worldly for a minute, then you come back and be even more worldly than how you was when you first stopped being worldly. So that's why the inward man is renewed day to day, and the natural man perish. That's, by day, that natural man, that once worldly man, supposed to be deteriorating at a good rate, because when everything gets shut down, what happens in the world isn't gonna matter. What you did in the world isn't gonna matter. What you did in this truth is gonna matter more so than what you did in the world. What you did in the world, everything that you did in the world was based on what? Sin, lust, and being unclean and ungodly. But in this truth, you learn things how our forefathers operated in times of distress. You learn that. You learn what to do through apostles and elders to do in certain situations too. Not just through reading, but through trial and error, in this truth. That's exactly why when you fall into the world, you tend to forget a lot of the things that you learned in this truth. And now it becomes, oh damn, I wish I could just, we ain't gonna be able to say that this time. This ain't gonna be no, oh, well, I'll always come back. The Lord is returning real fast and real soon. And it ain't gonna be no, it's gonna be known that those that keep their foot in the world and those that keep their foot they have 1 foot in the world, 1 foot in the truth. You can't do that. You're going to have to make a choice, and there's gonna be a sifting going around. So this is Luke chapter 9. I'm probably gonna end it after this because I'm to my destination. So this is Luke chapter 9, and I start at verse 57. And it came to pass that as they went into the way, a certain man said unto him, Lord, I will follow thee, whithersoever thou goest. And Yahushua said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests. The Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. Right? And he said unto another, Follow me. But the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahshai said, Suffer me first to go and bury my father. And Yahweh Shai said unto him, Let the dead bury their dead. But go thou and preach the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Right? And another said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me go first, bid them farewell which are at my house. And Yahweh Shai answered again and said, No man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. And yeah, that's pretty simply plain to put. If you say you're going to follow the Lord, you follow the Lord. You don't be distracted by all the other things of the world and what's going on. A lot of Apostle James, Peter, John, they turn away their lives to pursue the Lord. And guess what? They are sitting alongside Yahweh Shai. And some of the apostles had to give up their jobs, had to give up their way of living and what they had going on to follow the Lord. So now, in these times, right, brothers had to do similar things, right? Some brothers was offered high-paying jobs. Some brothers was offered to go to the league. Some brothers offered to be so-called, what's the word I want to look for? Some brothers was offered to make more money, but work a Saturday, or they'd never be at, not even just be at camp, but they'd be going or doing things and making a lot of money. Brothers was offered things, but what, at the end of the day, the Lord has it to where his true followers are going to follow them. Follow the land whither so thou go butchering it. But basically following Yahweh Shai wherever he goes. And yeah, that's exactly what that's what the apostles did back then. And that's what the true men, women, and children of the Lord is doing now. But really the men. Because the men have to give up, we giving up our lives for this truth. So, at the end of the day, if you're not willing to sacrifice the things of the world in order to gain the truth, you're going to be sifted out. And getting sifted out ain't a good thing, because you're going to remember that in the time of Jacob's trouble. And you're dope fucked in that say, because why? You'll be remembered as somebody that did the work part-time. And doing the work part-time is something that you want on your record. So you got to be hot. The Lord, basically, be hot or cold, and not lukewarm. So, Lord willing to edify, and I'm going to close out by giving all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Lord willing to edify, and also next one, Shalom.